So it's time for another game review, my lovely people of YouTube. This time it's going to be a crazy side-scrolling, run and gun, tongue-in-cheek, shoot 'em up. I think that kind of covered everything in there, maybe. I mean, it's certainly a fun mashup, and I spent way too much time running around and just laughing my ass off at some of the crazy things that went on during my playthrough. It's an amazing little indie game made by Monster Finger Games. And it's also their debut game called Alien Scumbags. Yeah, that was pretty cheesy, but it is in keeping with the theme of the game itself. It's the story that you've heard 100 times before. The future of Earth is in shambles, again. Because of a war, and with resources dwindling, they do what they always do and look to the stars. I'd hate to say that this is a far-fetched example of what humans would do in this situation, but with Jeff Bezos doing just that, I can't really say that it's beyond the realms of possibility anymore. If this game ends up being our future, I'm blaming you, Mr. Bezos. God damn you and your next day delivery service. If only you could deliver food and water to the future. Well, maybe that's an idea for the next game, but until then, let's not look that far into the future and stay in the present with this game review. So, you play as a mercenary, a series of mercenaries. You play as one of a lot of different characters, some of which you get from playing the game and others from gacha machines that are littered all over the levels. One of the first ones I got was the Flasher, and I'll let you guess who he is supposed to be. My favourite, and also the one that you start off with, and is the one that is included in the centre of this art that I'm doing, is Master Chef. We all know what character he is based off of, and we all know I'm not going to mention who it is for fear of the Master Lawyers turning up. Ooh, is that a new enemy type? But anyway, each of them have their own voices and minor skill changes. I only really played with Master Chef and Flasher, mostly as those were the two that I got straight away. Some of the characters have their own voices, and there is a section of the collectibles menu that shows you how many of the catchphrases of each of the characters you have heard. I mean, it's pretty creepy hearing a demonic voice coming out of a girly pink bunny, but that's just because I had flashbacks to Silent Hill. See, it's pretty creepy, right? Anyway, you have to basically go to this ship that supposedly has humanity's last hope on it and find out what happened there, etc, etc, etc. The story I felt was pretty arbitrary to the game and just a facilitation for the mayhem and carnage that was to come, which in all honesty is fine. This game is a fun pixel game. We aren't here for the story, we're here for the crazy blood and gore. 2D blood and gore, but still blood and gore. It's not supposed to be pretty, alright? The game is pretty standard for a side-scroller, jump, shoot, use item, reload, but it's all pretty intuitive and easy to grasp. There were a couple of things that left me stumped in the beginning, but with a quick look at the menu, I was pretty much sorted. It's very reminiscent of the old Doom and Wolfenstein games, which you can tell it took a lot of inspiration from, if it was a side-scroller and not a first-person shooter. The influence of other games is really prevalent here, but far from being detrimental to the whole thing, I found myself happily reminded of those days of the old PC trying to sneak a couple of games before my dad got home and told me off for playing a game that was not for my age group. It was such a nice, fun game to dive into and jump out of. There are of course puzzles and difficulty spikes, but I found that it didn't really feel like a cheap difficulty curve. I am looking at you, Dark Souls. As you play, you accrue points which, if you die, can be used to respawn and allows you to carry on with more tactical advantage. Okay, so it allows you to make mistakes, and I just wanted to pretend that I learned from them. This isn't the case, but if you can pretend, so can I. If you find that you don't need to learn, and that it's too easy for you, then there are 4 difficulty levels for you to choose from. There's so much replayability to collect all those characters, speed runs, difficulty levels, and more. The developer is constantly adding more stuff, and even as I finish writing this script, there's a new content drop. It's certainly looking like a fun game that's just going to keep on growing. Is it going to blow you away as something absolutely stunning and amazing? Honestly, no. Is it going to be fun to play, to have a laugh with, and replay over and over again? Absolutely. Do I recommend you buy this game? Oh hell yes I do. It's a fun, tongue-in-cheek horror game, and though I do use that term loosely as nothing made me jump personally, it's also full of piss-taking, nostalgia-destroying fun that is just something I think you can play over and over again. Also, for the price, I think it's a fairly perfect steal. And give it a go. The future of humanity needs you to kill the alien hybrids and eat cake. Yeah, that's what I want you to take away from this. Go and eat some cake.